Right now, there is a line dividing who you are and who you were meant to be. You were trained to speak like the 99%, apologizing for desire, bargaining with fear, and then wonder why money avoids you. The 1% obey a higher law. Your tongue programs your identity, and identity magnetizes opportunity. Hill called it autosuggestion. Proverbs declared life and death are in the tongue. Kings know this. Beggars ignore it. Listen now. Each morning you will declare with authority, I create value, I command value, I circulate value. Wealth serves my mission. Say it with posture, breath, and certainty. Watch doors, mentors, and money move toward you as if commanded by destiny. Take a slow breath. Listen closely. There is a law you have sensed, and tonight we will put it to work. They have lied to you twice. First, they whispered that affirmations are foolishness, empty words for desperate minds. Second, they insisted that money flows only from sweat, only from grinding your days into dust. Both lies serve the same master, keeping you small while others command the gold. Here is what I know to be true, what the wealthy have practiced in silence while the masses stumbled in confusion. Wealth obeys voice when that voice carries purpose, emotion, and daily rhythm. You do not attract riches by accident or luck. You command them through spiritual law applied with mathematical precision. The morning tongue is the steering wheel of destiny. What you speak first governs what unfolds last. Every millionaire I have studied began with a burning, definite aim, not vague wishes, not casual hopes, but a written declaration that burned in their consciousness until it materialized in their bank accounts. This is not mysticism. This is mechanics. Tonight I will give you the exact sequence that separates the wealthy from the waiting. We will walk through 6 laws that govern the morning tongue, each one building upon the last until your voice becomes an instrument of wealth, creation rather than worry rehearsal. We begin with part 1, how the first word governs your entire day. You will learn why those who speak their definite chief aim before the world speaks to them, control the economic current that flows through their lives. Then we advance into part 2, where emotion and repetition imprint your subconscious with unshakable conviction. Your mind will learn to obey what you repeat with feeling. In part 3, we discover how rhythm creates inevitability, why the same hour, same place, same fire transforms wish into certainty. Part 4 reveals the law of service through value, how giving measurable worth before receiving opens the vault of abundance. Part 5 unlocks the mastermind multiplier, where aligned minds create a third force that individual effort cannot match. Finally, Part 6 teaches you that silence governs gold, why the quiet tongue directs power while the chattering mouth scatters it. At the close, you will receive the complete ritual, 11 specific phrases, spoken 3 times each before your mirror, measured by metrics that track your progress over 30, 60, and 90 days. You will walk away with a 24-hour assignment that begins your wealth-building rhythm immediately. But understand this, what I share tonight is not theory to be admired. It is law to be obeyed. If you listen but do not act, you will remain exactly where you are. If you act but do not persist, you will return to where you started. Only the man who obeys daily, who speaks with purpose every morning, who builds systems instead of waiting for systems to build him, only that man commands the respect of money itself. Let us begin with part 1, how your first word governs your entire day. The moment your eyes open, a battle begins, not between you and the world, but between your purpose and the world's noise. Within 60 seconds of consciousness, you will either take command of your day or surrender it to whatever voice speaks loudest. The wealthy understand this. They speak first, speak clearly, and speak with the authority of written law. Your definite chief aim is not a wish list. It is a contract with destiny, signed in your own hand and sealed by your own voice. When Andrew Carnegie commissioned me to study the principles of success, he demanded that I distill my life's purpose into 1 page, not a chapter, not a book, but 1 clear page that could be read in 3 minutes and remembered for 30 years. That focused intention, repeated daily, became the foundation of everything that followed. Consider the mechanics of this law. Your subconscious mind operates 24 hours a day, but it takes its direction from your conscious commands. If your first conscious thought is worry about bills, about deadlines, about what others might think, you have issued an order for your subconscious to spend the day finding evidence of scarcity, pressure, and fear. Your inner machinery will obey, and your outer circumstances will reflect that obedience. But if your first conscious act is to stand before your mirror and declare your definite chief aim with emotional intensity, you redirect every faculty of your mind toward the achievement of that aim. Your subconscious becomes a wealth-seeking missile rather than a problem-finding radar. Thomas Edison understood this principle instinctively. Each morning, before reviewing his correspondence or meeting with his assistants, he would spend 20 minutes in focused thought about his current invention. He spoke aloud to himself, describing the problem he intended to solve and visualizing the solution as if it already existed. This was not daydreaming, this was programming. He was instructing his subconscious mind to work continuously on the solution, even while his conscious mind attended to other matters. The result? Edison's subconscious delivered more than 1,000 patented inventions because it had been given clear, consistent direction every single morning for decades. His voice commanded his mind commanded his actions, and his actions commanded the material world. Where have you been waiting for permission? When your morning begins, does it obey your law or your fear? Most people wake up in reaction mode, checking messages, reading news, absorbing other people's emergencies before they have declared their own priorities. They spend the first hour of their day downloading the world's chaos into their consciousness, then wonder why they feel scattered and powerless. The wealthy do the opposite. They upload their purpose into the world's consciousness. They declare their intention before they consume anyone else's information. They speak law into their day before circumstances speak confusion into their spirit. Here is your first command. Write your definite chief aim in exactly 50 words. Not 49, not 51. 50 words that capture your burning desire, your specific target, your timeline, and your commitment to service. Write it by hand. The neural pathways activated by handwriting create deeper imprints than typing. Read it aloud, standing upright, eyes meeting your own reflection. I command my morning. My morning commands my day. I use my mind, not just my time. I move first. I finish what I start. These are not empty phrases. They are identity declarations that reprogram your subconscious from servant to sovereign. But understand this. Reading your definite chief aim once, even with emotion, is like lighting a match in a windstorm. The flame may burn bright for a moment, but it will die without consistent fuel. Your aim must be repeated, reinforced, and emotionally charged until it becomes more real to you than your current circumstances. This brings us to the crucial question that bridges into our next law. How do you transform a written statement into an unshakable conviction? How do you move from hoping your aim will manifest to knowing it must manifest? The answer lies in the mysterious alchemy of emotion and repetition, where thought becomes feeling, feeling becomes belief, and belief becomes the architect of your financial destiny. We continue with part 2, how emotion and repetition imprint your subconscious with millionaire-level conviction. Your subconscious mind is not a reasoning machine. It does not evaluate the logic of your statements or the probability of your success. It simply accepts what you repeat with emotional intensity and begins to arrange circumstances that match your internal programming. Cold words create cold results. Passionate conviction creates passionate outcomes. The difference between affirmation and transformation is the difference between reciting a grocery list and singing a love song. One engages only the surface of your mind. The other penetrates to the depths where real change occurs. Most people fail with morning declarations because they speak them like a corporate mission statement, correct words, zero fire. Listen to how this law operated in the life of Charles Schwab, the man who became the first president of United States Steel Corporation and earned $1 million a year when most men earned 1,000. Schwab did not rise through technical expertise alone. He rose because he repeated one burning conviction every morning for 20 years. I will add more value than I am paid for, and I will do it with enthusiasm that makes others want to succeed alongside me. Schwab did not whisper this conviction. He declared it with the emotional intensity of a man whose life depended on its fulfillment because his life did depend on it. He spoke it until he felt it until he believed it until he lived it, and lived it until it transformed him from a day laborer into a steel magnate. The subconscious responds to emotional repetition the same way soil responds to water and sunlight. Consistent application creates inevitable growth. But sporadic effort, speaking your aim with passion on Monday and mumbling it on Tuesday, produces sporadic results. The wealthy understand that consistency is the compound interest of consciousness. Here is the specific protocol that transforms hope into certainty. Take your 50-word definite chief aim and speak it aloud 3 times, with increasing emotional intensity each time. The first repetition plants the seed. The second repetition waters it. The third repetition commands it to grow. But do not speak these words like a robot reading code. Inject each phrase with the emotional conviction of a man who has already achieved the goal and is simply reminding himself of what he owns. Feel gratitude for wealth that has not yet appeared in your bank account but has already appeared in your consciousness. Speak with the authority of ownership, not the pleading of poverty. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. Identity precedes evidence. Evidence follows obedience. I build systems that outwork my hours. Gold follows understanding. Outcomes follow order. I decide once and reinforce daily. These declarations are not wishes, they are orders issued to your subconscious by your conscious will. Every time you speak them with genuine emotion, you strengthen the neural pathways that connect thought to action, action to result, result to increased conviction. Henry Ford proved this principle when he declared his intention to mass-produce an 8-cylinder engine. His own engineers told him it was mechanically impossible. But Ford repeated his vision daily, with increasing conviction, until his emotional certainty overruled their technical doubts. The engineers found a way because Ford's subconscious refused to accept impossibility as a permanent condition. What vision have you abandoned because others called it impossible? What dream have you diluted because your own voice lacked conviction? Your external world is an any-milli, exact mirror of your internal programming. Change the program, and the reflection must change. But here is where most people falter. They speak with passion for a few days, experience initial excitement, then allow routine to drain the emotion from their words. They reduce powerful declarations to mechanical recitation, wondering why the fire has gone out of their ambition. The solution is not to speak less, it is to speak with renewed intensity every single day. Treat your morning declarations like a violinist treats his scales. The master musician does not grow bored with basic exercises. He finds new depths of expression within familiar patterns. Your definite chief aim should become more emotionally charged each time you speak it, not less. When doubt whispers that your aim is too large, respond with increased volume. When fear suggests that others will laugh, speak with greater conviction. When delay tempts you to skip a morning, double the emotional intensity of your declaration. Your voice must become stronger than your excuses. The wealthy know that emotion is the electricity that powers the machinery of manifestation. Without emotional current, your words are just noise. With emotional conviction, your words become commands that reshape reality. Yet even the most passionate declaration, spoken once or occasionally, creates only temporary change. Lasting transformation requires the third law, the law of rhythm that creates inevitability. We turn the page to part 2, focused on how daily rhythm transforms wish into mathematical certainty. Habit is destiny wearing work clothes. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are inevitably. The wealthy do not succeed through heroic efforts or burst of inspiration. They succeed through rhythmic application of correct principles performed at specific times, in specific places, with specific emotional intensity. John D. Rockefeller did not become the richest man in America through random acts of brilliance. He became wealthy through methodical daily actions, performed with the precision of a Swiss clockmaker. He rose at the same hour, reviewed his goals with the same focus, made decisions with the same criteria, day after day, year after year, until his habits had carved channels so deep that wealth flowed to him as naturally as water flows downhill. Rhythm creates momentum, and momentum creates inevitability. The man who speaks his definite chief aim every morning at 5:30 in the same place with the same emotional conviction is programming his subconscious mind to accept wealth building as a natural function rather than a sporadic activity. Most people approach wealth building like a tourist approaches a foreign city wandering randomly, hoping to stumble upon something valuable. But the wealthy approach it like a surgeon approaches an operation with systematic precision, proven protocols, and unwavering focus on successful outcomes. Consider the power of identical time, identical place, identical emotional state. When you repeat your morning declarations at exactly the same hour each day, you create what psychologists call contextual memory anchoring. Your subconscious begins to associate that specific time and place with wealth-focused thinking. Eventually, simply standing in your morning position will trigger the mental state of financial confidence. This is not theory. This is practical psychology applied to wealth creation. Athletes use this principle to achieve peak performance under pressure. Musicians use it to access creative flow states. Military units use it to function effectively in chaos. You will use it to reprogram your relationship with money from scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness. Wake 30 minutes earlier than your current pattern. Not 30 minutes earlier when you feel inspired, 30 minutes earlier every single day, including weekends, holidays, and days when your motivation has abandoned you. Consistency is more powerful than intensity because consistency compounds while intensity evaporates. Face the same mirror, hold the same posture, speak with the same conviction. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition and emotional association. When these elements remain constant, your internal programming deepens rather than scattering. But do not mistake routine for monotony. Within the structure of consistent rhythm, bring fresh passion to each declaration. A master pianist plays the same scales daily, but finds new expression within familiar patterns. Your morning declarations should become more powerful through repetition, not less. Every day I prove who I am. I am sent. I obey. I finish. I speak law into my day and collect proof before noon. I will not wait for courage. I move and courage meets me. I sow understanding and reap gold. These are not mantras to be mumbled. They are identity commands to be embodied. Speak them until your posture changes, your voice deepens, your certainty becomes unshakable. The wealthy understand that what you practice in private determines what you possess in public. Marshall Field proved this principle through the Chicago fire of 1871. While other merchants stood paralyzed by the destruction of their stores, Field immediately began planning his rebuilt empire. He had trained his mind through years of morning declarations to see opportunity within apparent disaster. His consistent mental conditioning enabled him to act decisively when others were frozen by circumstances. Where do you freeze when conditions change? When markets shift? When clients disappear? When unexpected challenges arise? Do you respond from preparation or panic? The man who has conditioned his mind through daily rhythm remains steady, while others scatter. The fourth law ensures that your steady rhythm produces measurable value rather than empty motion. Your consistent voice must create consistent service because the universe pays for worth delivered, not words declared. We move deeper in Part 2, the law of serving through value to attract lasting wealth. Speaking wealth into existence without creating value is like trying to harvest crops from barren ground. The universe operates on the principle of equivalent exchange. What you receive must be balanced by what you give. But most people reverse this equation. They focus on getting before giving, receiving before serving, being paid before adding value. The wealthy understand that lasting riches flow to those who solve problems for others. Your morning declarations must include not only what you intend to receive, but specifically how you intend to serve. Value creation is the bridge between internal conviction and external compensation. Charles Schwab did not earn $1 million annually because he spoke powerful affirmations. He earned it because his affirmations led to actions that made other people wealthy. His morning declarations included specific commitments to add value beyond his compensation, to lead with enthusiasm, and to help others succeed through his success. Every morning, after declaring your definite chief aim, you must identify one specific action that day which will add measurable value to someone else's life or business. Not vague intentions to help people, but concrete deliverables that create concrete results. Value is not measured by effort, it is measured by outcomes. You may work 12 hours with sincere intentions, but if those 12 hours produce no improvement in anyone else's condition, you have created effort without value. The marketplace pays for results, not for good intentions or hard work. Henry Ford revolutionized manufacturing not because he wanted to get rich, but because he wanted to create automobiles that ordinary working men could afford. His wealth was a byproduct of his service to a genuine human need. His morning declarations included specific commitments to reduce production costs, improve product quality, and make transportation accessible to the masses. Ford's subconscious mind, programmed daily with service-focused goals, generated innovations that served millions while creating massive personal wealth. The universe rewarded him proportionally to the value he delivered. What specific problem will you solve today? Whose burden will you lighten? What inefficiency will you eliminate? Your morning declarations must include precise commitments to value creation, not just wealth accumulation. I serve with value and take ownership. I solve problems that others avoid. I create worth before claiming reward. Move first. Stand as sent. Finish what you start. These declarations redirect your subconscious from taking to giving, from demanding to delivering, from focusing on what you lack to focusing on what others need. This shift in consciousness automatically attracts opportunities because the universe is constantly seeking solutions to existing problems. But understand this: serving through value does not mean working for free or undervaluing your contribution. It means ensuring that your compensation is justified by measurable improvement in other people's conditions. The wealthy charge premium prices because they deliver premium value. Andrew Carnegie paid Charles Schwab more than most company presidents because Schwab produced results that justified extraordinary compensation. Schwab's morning declarations included commitments to excellence that exceeded his current pay grade, which automatically elevated him to higher pay grades. When you speak, your morning declarations include specific metrics by which your value can be measured. Revenue generated, problems solved, systems improved, relationships strengthened, efficiency gained. The marketplace pays highest compensation to those who can demonstrate their worth through numbers rather than narratives. Yet even the most valuable individual service reaches natural limits. One person, regardless of skill or effort, can only create so much value working alone. The fifth law multiplies your individual capacity through aligned partnership with other wealth-focused minds. We proceed to part 2, devoted to how mastermind alliances multiply your morning power exponentially. No great fortune has ever been built in isolation. Behind every self-made millionaire stands an alliance of minds working in harmony toward mutual benefit. Your morning declarations, powerful as they are when spoken alone, become exponentially more powerful when echoed by partners who share your vision and commitment. The Mastermind Principle is not networking or casual cooperation. It is the organized fusion of multiple minds around a definite purpose, with each participant contributing specialized knowledge while sharing in collective results. When two or more minds focus on the same goal with emotional intensity, they create a third mind, a group consciousness that generates ideas and opportunities beyond the capacity of any individual member. Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and Harvey Firestone met regularly to discuss their respective businesses, challenge each other's thinking, and coordinate their individual success strategies. Their conversations produced innovations that none of them could have conceived in solitude. Edison's inventions improved Ford's manufacturing processes. Ford's business insights helped Firestone expand his market reach. Firestone's practical wisdom guided Edison's commercial applications. Each man's morning declarations became more powerful because they were accountable to partners who shared their commitment to excellence. Their individual aims aligned into collective force that commanded resources, opportunities, and market influence far beyond what any of them could have achieved independently. Your definite chief aim gains tremendous power when shared with carefully selected partners who hold you accountable to your declared intentions. But choose these partners carefully. The wrong mastermind members, those who doubt your vision, excuse their own delays, or operate from scarcity consciousness, will contaminate your mental programming rather than amplifying it. Seek partners who already demonstrate wealth-building discipline in their own lives. Not necessarily those who are already wealthy, but those who think and act like wealthy people even before the money arrives. Partners who rise early, speak with conviction, serve with value, and persist through temporary setbacks. Form a mastermind alliance of 2 to 4 people maximum. Meet consistently, weekly or bi-weekly at the same day and time. Begin each meeting by having all members speak their definite chief aims aloud, with full emotional conviction. This group declaration creates a resonance field that strengthens individual conviction. Minds aligned, power multiplied. What we speak together becomes inevitable. I am accountable to excellence. Excellence is accountable to me. During mastermind meetings, share specific challenges you face in achieving your aim, but do not seek sympathy or permission to delay. Seek practical strategies, resources, and accountability for immediate action. Your partner's role is not to comfort your excuses, but to challenge your limitations. Each meeting should end with specific commitments from each member, measurable actions to be completed before the next gathering. These commitments must be reported on and evaluated honestly. Success is celebrated and multiplied. Delays are analyzed and corrected without judgment, but also without tolerance. The mastermind creates positive peer pressure that transforms individual willpower into group momentum. When you know that your partners will ask about your progress on specific commitments, you find energy and focus that was unavailable when you worked alone. But the most profound benefit of Mastermind Alliance is the exponential increase in opportunity recognition. When multiple wealth-focused minds share information and insights regularly, they create a collective intelligence network that identifies chances for mutual benefit. Partners introduce you to their contacts, recommend you for opportunities, and collaborate on projects that multiply everyone's results. Henry Ford's Mastermind Alliance with Edison gave him access to electrical innovations that revolutionized automobile manufacturing. Edison's partnership with Ford provided him real-world testing grounds for his inventions. Their alliance created value for both men that neither could have generated independently. Your morning declarations must include commitment to your mastermind partners, not just general goodwill, but specific intentions to contribute value to their success. The universe rewards givers, but it especially rewards organized givers who coordinate their service for maximum mutual benefit. Yet even the most powerful mastermind alliance can be derailed by careless speech and scattered focus. The sixth law teaches you that strategic silence governs the flow of opportunity, while undisciplined conversation scatters your accumulated power. Let us advance to Part 3, the law of silence that seals your wealth-building authority. We now step into Part 3, the law of silence that governs gold. The tongue that cannot be stilled cannot be trusted with secrets of wealth. Most people scatter their power through careless conversation, sharing their plans with those who cannot help them achieve and do not share their vision. They speak their aims to doubters and wonder why doubt enters their consciousness. They discuss their strategies with competitors and wonder why obstacles multiply. King Solomon, the wisest and wealthiest ruler in recorded history, understood this principle perfectly. When offered anything he desired by the Creator, Solomon did not request gold, armies, or territory. He asked for wisdom, the ability to understand underlying principles and apply them correctly. The gold followed understanding as naturally as fruit follows the tree. But Solomon's request was made in private, in the quiet moments before dawn, when his mind was clear of outside influence and political pressure. His most important declarations were spoken to the universe directly, not broadcast to courtiers who might have their own agendas. This strategic silence preserved the purity of his intention and the power of his focus. Silence is not weakness, it is concentration. The scattered mind talks constantly, seeking validation and approval from others. The focused mind speaks selectively, sharing information only with those who can contribute to the achievement of definite aims. The wealthy understand that premature disclosure dissipates energy that should be directed toward action. Your morning declarations are sacred communications between your conscious will and your subconscious power. They are not entertainment for curious friends or ammunition for jealous competitors. Guard these communications as carefully as you would guard the combination to your safe, because they are unlocking your financial future. After speaking your definite chief aim with emotional conviction, after declaring your service commitments and accountability to your mastermind partners, conclude with 5 minutes of complete silence. This is not meditation or relaxation, this is strategic listening. In the quiet, your subconscious mind can communicate insights and ideas that are drowned out by constant external noise. I speak law. I speak belief. In silence, I receive wisdom. In action, I create proof. Many of history's greatest innovations emerged during moments of deliberate silence. James J. Hill conceived the Great Northern Railway during quiet morning hours when his mind was free from the opinions and limitations of conventional railroad thinking. His private contemplation generated strategies that his competitors missed because their thinking was contaminated by industry groupthink. Guglielmo Marconi developed wireless communication technology during solitary hours when he could explore possibilities that seemed impossible to others. His breakthrough came not during conferences or meetings, but during silent experimentation when his focused attention could perceive signals that scattered minds could not detect. What signals are you missing because your environment is too noisy? When do you create space for your subconscious mind to present solutions that your conscious mind cannot force? The wealthy build regular silence into their daily rhythm because they understand that reception requires quiet. But strategic silence extends beyond morning declarations to daily conversation habits. The person who talks constantly about their plans, especially to those who are not stakeholders in their success, weakens the electromagnetic charge of their intentions. Every time you repeat your aims to someone who responds with doubt, skepticism, or indifference, you allow their weak mental vibration to contaminate your strong conviction. Discuss your definite chief aim only with your mastermind partners and with advisors who demonstrate wealth-building success in their own lives. Everyone else should see your results before they hear your intentions. Let your actions speak louder than your explanations. This does not mean becoming secretive or antisocial. It means becoming selective about which conversations receive your mental energy and which relationships have access to your developing plans. The wise farmer does not invite critics to examine his seeds before they sprout. He tends them privately until they produce fruit that speaks for itself. Your morning silence serves another crucial function. It programs your subconscious to notice opportunities that align with your stated aims. When your mind is quiet and focused on specific goals, it begins to filter daily experiences through those goals. Conversations, articles, chance meetings, and unexpected events that might have passed unnoticed become highlighted as relevant to your purpose. This selective attention is not mystical, it is psychological. Your subconscious mind processes millions of bits of information every day, but it brings to conscious awareness only those elements that match your dominant focus. By ending your morning declarations with focused silence, you instruct your mental filtering system to prioritize wealth-building opportunities throughout the day. The businessman who silently reviews his sales targets each morning notices customer needs that his scattered competitors miss. The investor who quietly contemplates market opportunities recognizes patterns that obvious analysis overlooks. The service provider who internally commits to client success perceives possibilities for value creation that self-focused rivals cannot see. Silence sharpens perception while scattered conversation dulls it. The person who talks constantly about their goals exhausts their mental energy in explanation rather than execution. But the person who guards their aims in strategic quiet accumulates power for focused action. This brings us to the practical application of everything we have learned. Your morning ritual must integrate all 6 laws into one powerful daily system that transforms consciousness and creates measurable results. The complete protocol awaits 11 specific declarations, spoken with scientific precision, measured by objective metrics, and reinforced by immediate action. The theoretical foundation is now complete. The practical application begins immediately. Your morning tongue will either govern your financial destiny or be governed by circumstances beyond your control. The choice is yours, and the choice is made fresh every single day. Here is the complete morning wealth protocol, designed for immediate implementation and measured by results that compound over 30, 60, and 90-day cycles. Rise at 5:30. Regardless of your current waking pattern, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what happened the previous day. Consistency is more important than convenience. Drink 1 full glass of water to activate your physical systems, but consume no other information, no phone, no news, no messages until your declarations are complete. Stand before a mirror with your shoulders back, feet planted firmly, chin level. This posture sends signals to your subconscious mind that you are preparing to issue commands, not requests. Hold your written, definite chief aim in your left hand and speak directly to your own reflection. These are the 11 declarations that reprogram your consciousness from scarcity to abundance, spoken 3 times each with increasing emotional intensity. First declaration: read your definite chief aim exactly as written, with complete conviction. Your subconscious must hear your exact target, deadline, and service commitment every single day. Second declaration: I command my morning commands my day. This establishes your authority over time rather than time's authority over you. Third declaration: I use my mind, not just my time. This redirects focus from effort-based thinking to systems-based thinking. Fourth declaration: I move first, I finish what I start. This builds identity as an initiator rather than a reactor. Fifth declaration: identity precedes evidence. Evidence follows obedience. This reinforces faith in your process when results are not yet visible. Sixth declaration: I build systems that outwork my hours. This programs your mind to create leverage rather than trading time for money. Seventh declaration: gold follows understanding. Outcomes follow order. This connects wisdom seeking with wealth building. Eighth declaration: I decide once and reinforce daily. This eliminates the energy drain of constant redecision. Ninth declaration: I am sent, I obey, I finish. This creates identity as someone with mission rather than mere personal ambition. 10th declaration: I speak law into my day and collect proof before noon. This demands immediate evidence of your declarations through daily action. 11th declaration: I sow understanding and reap gold. This final statement connects service to reward through natural law. After speaking all 11 declarations 3 times each, spend exactly 5 minutes in complete silence, visualizing yourself executing the day's most important value-creating action with perfect competence and complete success. Open your planning notebook and write 3 specific commitments. 1 action that generates revenue today, 1 follow-up that strengthens a relationship, and one small system improvement that saves time or increases efficiency. These must be completed before 10 a.m. Close your morning session by speaking this operational oath aloud. Today I prove with service. Today I deliver what I speak. Today I build evidence of who I am becoming. Your daily scorecard measures 5 metrics. Did you wake at the designated time without snoozing? Did you complete all 11 declarations with authentic emotion? Did you maintain the 5 minutes of focused silence without mental drift? Did you complete all 3 morning commitments before 10 a.m.? Did you add measurable value to at least one person's life or business today? Weekly audit measures your percentage of successful days. 80% or higher indicates proper rhythm establishment. Below 80% requires immediate correction of your environment, accountability systems, or commitment level. Monthly review tracks 3 key indicators. How many strategic opportunities did you recognize and act upon? How many valuable relationships did you deepen through consistent service? What systems or skills did you develop that increased your capacity for value creation? The 30-day mark typically shows increased energy and clearer thinking. The 60-day mark usually demonstrates improved opportunity recognition and relationship building. The 90-day mark often produces measurable financial results not because of magic, but because of consistent application of wealth-building principles. But what if doubt returns? What if results seem slow? What if people question your new routine? When doubt whispers that your aims are too ambitious, respond by increasing the emotional intensity of your declarations, not by reducing their scope. Doubt grows in the darkness of inaction. It dies in the sunlight of persistent movement. When results appear slowly, remember that all meaningful change follows the same pattern: invisible progress followed by sudden, visible breakthrough. Your morning declarations are building subconscious programming that will manifest as external results when the foundation is complete. When others question your routine, smile quietly and let your increasing competence speak for your methods. Most people fear discipline because they have associated it with punishment rather than liberation. Your growing effectiveness will become its own advertisement for the power of morning declarations. When you feel resistance to rising early, remember that your comfort zone is not your wealth zone. Every morning that you override resistance to maintain your declarations, you build the mental muscle of self-command that translates into financial command. When the routine begins to feel mechanical, inject fresh passion into familiar words. The master musician does not grow bored with scales. He finds deeper expression within proven structure. Your declarations should become more powerful through repetition, not less. This is not theory to be admired, it is law to be applied. Your current financial condition is the perfect reflection of your current mental programming. Change the program through consistent morning declarations, and the external reflection must change to match. The wealthy do not hope for abundance. They create it through disciplined application of invisible laws that govern visible results. You now possess these same laws. The only variable is whether you will apply them with the same consistency that created every significant fortune in history. I am the master of my thoughts, therefore I am the master of my circumstances. I speak law into reality. I act law into evidence. I do not chase money. I become the understanding that money follows. This is your identity now. This is your daily practice. This is your path from employee consciousness to owner consciousness, from reactive thinking to creative thinking, from hoping for breaks to creating opportunities. Tomorrow morning at 5:30, you begin the most important habit of your financial life. Not when you feel ready, not when conditions improve, not when others approve. Tomorrow morning, because wealth waits for no one, and those who wait serve those who act. The alarm will sound, the mirror will reflect, your voice will declare, your subconscious will listen. Your day will obey, your wealth will grow. Stand, speak, serve, succeed. Now we step into part 3, the seal on your wealth-building transformation. You possess the complete system. You understand the 6 laws. You hold the 11 declarations. You know the metrics that measure progress and the habits that create inevitability. But knowledge without application is entertainment, and application without persistence is preparation for failure. The difference between those who temporarily improve and those who permanently transform lies not in superior information, but in superior commitment to daily practice. The wealthy maintain their wealth-building habits long after motivation has faded, long after the novelty has worn away, long after the initial excitement has settled into routine. This is where most people fail. They begin with enthusiasm, maintain effort for days or weeks, then gradually allow exceptions to become the rule. One missed morning becomes a pattern. One skipped declaration becomes a habit. One delayed commitment becomes a lifestyle of procrastination disguised as flexibility. But you will not follow that path because you understand what they do not. Wealth building is not a temporary project. It is a permanent identity shift. You are not trying to get rich. You are becoming the kind of person who naturally creates and maintains wealth through consistent application of proven principles. The final law governs this transformation from temporary effort to permanent identity. It is the law of commitment sealed by action, where your daily choices either build the bridge to financial freedom or reinforce the walls of your current limitations. Every morning when your alarm sounds at 5:30, you face a choice that determines not just that day's outcomes, but the trajectory of your entire financial future. Will you rise as the person you have always been, or will you rise as the person you have declared yourself to become? The person you have always been hits the snooze button, checks messages immediately upon waking, reacts to other people's priorities before establishing your own. That person speaks carelessly, acts sporadically, hopes vaguely for improvement while maintaining the habits that created current conditions. But the person you have declared yourself to become rises at the designated time regardless of how you feel. That person speaks wealth into existence through disciplined declarations before consuming any external information. That person acts with purpose, serves with value, and measures progress by objective standards rather than subjective feelings. Which person will you choose to be tomorrow morning? Which identity will you reinforce through action? The choice seems simple, but it must be made fresh every single day, because old patterns of consciousness do not. Surrender without resistance. Abraham Lincoln understood this principle during the most challenging period of American history. The nation was divided, critics questioned every decision, military leaders doubted his strategies, and political allies abandoned his cause when support seemed costly. But Lincoln had committed to an identity larger than his immediate circumstances. He saw himself as the instrument through which the Union would be preserved and slavery would be ended. Every morning, Lincoln rose before dawn to review his commitment to this larger identity. Not his commitment to feeling confident, not his commitment to having popular support, not his commitment to seeing immediate results, his commitment to being the man who would hold the nation together regardless of personal cost. When advisors recommended compromise that would have preserved slavery in some states, Lincoln's morning-forged identity rejected solutions that contradicted his declared purpose. When generals urged retreat that would have divided the nation permanently, his daily reinforced conviction demanded strategies that served his definite aim rather than his immediate comfort. Lincoln's morning practice created internal alignment between his declared identity and his daily choices. This alignment generated the clarity, courage, and persistence necessary to achieve what others considered impossible. His personal transformation became the catalyst for national transformation. Your morning declarations serve the same function. They align your daily choices with your declared identity as someone who creates wealth through service, builds systems through discipline, and attracts abundance through consistent application of spiritual law. But this alignment requires vigilance because your environment will constantly test your commitment. Friends may mock your early rising schedule. Family members may question your new intensity about goal achievement. Colleagues may resent your increased effectiveness and focus. These tests are not obstacles. They are confirmations that your transformation is real and threatening to those who profit from your remaining small. Every person who questions your new habits is unconsciously revealing their own fear of change and their investment in keeping you at your current level. Do not argue with these people. Do not explain your methods. Do not seek their approval or understanding. Simply maintain your morning practice with quiet consistency and let your increasing effectiveness speak for your principles. When you consistently rise at 5:30 while others sleep until 7, you gain 90 minutes daily of focused thinking time. Over 1 year, this totals over 500 hours of additional mental clarity and purposeful action. This advantage compounds because those extra hours are invested in wealth-building activities rather than reactive responses. When you consistently speak your declarations with emotional conviction while others begin their days with worry and complaint, you program your subconscious for opportunity recognition, while theirs remain programmed for problem focus. This creates exponential differences in what you notice, whom you attract, and how you respond to changing conditions. When you consistently complete your 3 morning commitments before 10 a.m., while others spend their mornings checking email and consuming news, you build momentum that carries through the entire day. Your sense of accomplishment at 10 a.m. exceeds most people's sense of accomplishment at 5 p.m. These advantages are not theory, they are mathematical certainties that result from consistent application of time-tested principles. But they require daily choice, daily commitment, daily action, regardless of how you feel or what others think. The most crucial moment in your wealth-building journey occurs not when you achieve your first major financial goal, but tomorrow morning when your alarm sounds, and you must choose between the comfort of staying in bed and the discipline of rising to speak your declarations. That choice, repeated consistently over time, will create more wealth than any investment strategy, any business opportunity, or any lucky break. Because that choice creates the person who recognizes good investments, who qualifies for valuable opportunities, and who generates his own luck through prepared persistence. Your financial future is not determined by economic conditions, market trends, or government policies. It is determined by whether you maintain the daily habits that create wealth consciousness or abandon them when maintaining them becomes inconvenient. The wealthy understand that inconvenience is temporary, but the benefits of disciplined habits compound permanently. They choose temporary discomfort over permanent limitation. They choose present discipline over future regret. What will you choose? Not theoretically, not when conditions improve, not when you feel more motivated. What will you choose tomorrow morning at 5:30, when the alarm sounds and your warm bed calls you back to sleep? That choice will determine whether you join the ranks of those who tried momentarily or those who transformed permanently. The decision is yours, but it cannot be delayed because delay is itself a choice. The choice to remain who you have always been, rather than becoming who you have declared yourself to be. Here are the specific obstacles you will face and the exact responses that will carry you through each challenge. When fear whispers that your aims are impossible, remind yourself that impossible is not a fact. It is an opinion held by those who quit before completion. Your morning declarations are not requests for permission. They are announcements of intention backed by daily action. When doubt suggests that others are more qualified for success than you are, remember that qualification is not a prerequisite. For wealth, it is a result of wealth-building activities consistently performed. Your daily practice creates competence, competence creates confidence, confidence creates results. When impatience demands immediate visible results, understand that all lasting change follows the same pattern in visible foundation followed by visible manifestation. Your morning declarations are laying foundation. The structure will appear when the foundation is solid. When criticism from others attempts to shake your conviction, realize that critics never carry trophies. The opinion of those who have not achieved what you are building is irrelevant data that weakens your focus when you give it attention. When old habits attempt to reassert themselves, recognize that mental patterns die hard because they served a purpose in your previous identity. Thank them for their past service, then consciously choose new patterns that serve your declared identity. When progress seems slower than expected, check your consistency rather than questioning your methods. Sporadic application of correct principles produces sporadic results. Consistent application of correct principles produces inevitable results. Every wealthy person who ever lived faced identical obstacles and chose to persist through them rather than surrender to them. Your challenges are not unique, but your commitment to overcome them through daily disciplined action can be. The moment you commit completely to your morning practice, not partially, not conditionally, not when you feel like it, you will experience a shift in your relationship with obstacles. They will become stepping stones rather than roadblocks, because your identity as someone who persists will be stronger than your temporary discomfort. This identity shift is the true wealth. Money is simply the external reflection of internal alignment between your declared aims and your daily actions. When that alignment becomes permanent, financial abundance becomes inevitable. But remember, this system works only for those who work the system. Reading about morning declarations creates no wealth. Thinking about wealth-building habits produces no results. Only daily action, applied consistently, regardless of feelings or circumstances, transforms consciousness and creates lasting financial change. You now possess what took me decades to discover through study of the world's most successful individuals. You hold the exact sequence of thoughts, words, and actions that separate the wealthy from the waiting. You understand the spiritual laws that govern material results. The only remaining question is whether you will apply this knowledge with the same consistency that created every fortune in history, or whether you will join the vast majority who know what to do but never develop the habit of doing it. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul, the architect of my abundance. I do not chase wealth. I become the understanding that wealth follows. I speak law. I act with purpose. I serve through value. I persist through obstacles. This is not positive thinking. This is accurate thinking about the relationship between consciousness and circumstances. This is not wishful dreaming. This is strategic programming of the mental faculties that create external results. Tomorrow morning at exactly 5:30, you will prove what you truly believe about your capacity for transformation. Not through what you say, through what you do. Not through what you intend, through what you implement. Your alarm will sound, your moment of choice will arrive, your commitment will be tested, your future will be determined. Stand up, face the mirror, speak your truth, take your first action, begin your transformation. The wealthy are waiting for you to join them. Your abundance is waiting for you to claim it. Your new identity is waiting for you to live it. The time is now. The choice is yours. The system is proven. Move.